Section 5.6, okay, graphing rational functions. So rational functions is kind of what we just did, right? There were like fractions, right? Maybe there was like a number 2 over an x minus 3 on the bottom, something like that. So we want to graph those things. Now, just so you're aware, these rational functions that we're going to be graphing, let me use black here. That was already on that. So these rational functions that we're going to be graphing are going to look something like this. So I'm going to kind of give you a little heads up on that. So they usually have like a horizontal asymptote. Right now I'll zoom in so that we can see this a little better. Okay. So they usually have a horizontal asymptote. They usually have a vertical asymptote. Now these can move to different areas of the graph, and that's what we're going to talk about. Okay. So normally they look like, the asymptotes look like that, and then the graph itself will look like this. Now that's the shape you're going to be looking for every time, okay, the green graph. Now maybe it'll get flipped upside down where this piece will actually be up there, and then this piece will go down here, okay? So there can be a shift in where they're at. Like they'll either look like that, they'll either be in quadrant 1 and 3, or they'll flip over and be in quadrants 2 and 4. Okay? But it's always going to be the basic same shape like this. Okay? So this is what we call a rational function in terms of a graph. Okay? Now, let me kind of write this out here. Rational function. Normally it's going to be given an equation something like this. Y is equal to A over x minus B plus C. Okay? Now there's some things you got to know about this equation. All right? First of all, the horizontal asymptote. Let me zoom out a little bit. Asymptote is the opposite of B. So if that said like x minus 2 on the bottom, if it said x minus 2, your horizontal asymptote is 2. If on the bottom it said like x plus 8, then your horizontal asymptote would have been minus 8. Okay, so whatever the B value looks like, take the opposite of it. That's going to be your horizontal asymptote. Okay, you're going to draw like a little, you're going to draw like a horizontal line that's dashed across that value for your y-axis. Okay, so I'm going to put a little parenthesis here. So you're gonna graph y equal to b. That's what you're gonna graph in a dashed line. Okay. The next thing, C is your vertical asymptote. Now, asymptotes are lines that you cannot cross. Okay, you can't cross over them. So these are lines that you should not be passing. So x equal to C. So again, your graph is supposed to look like this, right? Rational functions normally look like that. So like 1 over x will look just like that. But then if I decide to move it left and right or up and down, that's my B and C portion. Okay, those are my shifts. It'll shift left and right. So I'm telling you where to draw the horizontal asymptote so you know where it shifts. Okay, so again, horizontal asymptote is based on the opposite of B. Your vertical asymptote is based on the actual value of C. Okay, and then your A term. So plus or minus A will tell you whether to flip the function. Remember, a positive one leaves it normal. A negative one, you're going to flip it over. Okay? So the A term, if the whole fraction in the front is positive or negative, that's going to tell you whether you should draw it normally or flip it over. Okay? Like I said, I know this kind of seems like it could be difficult. You can graph these things, each one of these graphs, you can probably graph them in about 40 seconds, maybe less. Okay, it's not going to take long. Your homework should be pretty quick today. All right, assuming you're understanding what we're about to do. So, all right, let me zoom back out here. So this is what we're looking at. Okay, rational functions that look like this. All right, so that's the whole set of nodes. So let me give you some examples, and these are coming from your homework. Okay. So example number 1. So I want to graph f of x equal to 2 over x plus 2 minus 3. That's what I want to graph. 2 over x plus 2 minus 3. So first thing I'm going to do is kind of create a graph for myself. All right, so I know that the graph is supposed to look like this. Under normal circumstances, it's supposed to look like this. Don't draw the green lines, okay? I'm just showing you. This is what it's supposed to look like. If there's no movement, I don't move it anywhere. It's just supposed to be right there. But I have an x plus 2 on the bottom. I have a minus 3 on the very right side. Okay, the 2 on the top, I'm not even worried about it, okay? So what's my horizontal asymptote? Wait, did I label this right? C is your... Oh man, I didn't. Right now I said that out loud and I'm like, what? No, that doesn't make sense. Do me a favor. I'm gonna erase. I just realized I put the wrong word. This one is vertical. My apologies. This one is horizontal. Yeah, because right now I was about to tell you what it was and I'm like, wait a minute, what I wrote doesn't make sense. Let me zoom in. The vertical asymptote is based on your denominator. The horizontal one is based on the C value on the outside. Because the C value makes you go up and down. So that's horizontal lines. I apologize for that. So vertical is your B, well, the opposite of the B term. Horizontal is your C term. Okay? Sorry about that. So let's go back to this thing here. So what's my horizontal asymptote? So look at your notes again now that we changed it. What letter is supposed to be my horizontal? The C, right? And what is my C value? -3. So I'm going to draw a horizontal line at -3, just like that. That's not too bad, right? All right. What is my vertical asymptote? That's my B value, right? But my vertical asymptote is the opposite of what I see for B. So what do I see for B right now? A +2. So that means my vertical asymptote should be -2. So I'm going to go to -2. And I'm going to draw a line like that. All right. So, am I going to draw this graph normally or am I going to flip it? So you look at your fraction in the front. Is your fraction positive or negative? like the whole fraction. It's positive. That means I'm going to draw it normally, okay? So this is all I'm going to do. Here, I'm going to draw it like this, and here, like that, and I'm done. That's it. That's my picture. Okay? So the hard part is really just figuring out where it goes horizontally and where it goes vertically. Once you got that, then draw your picture. You do want to ask yourself whether or not your fraction is positive or negative, because if it's negative, I have to flip it. If this would have been a negative answer, this is what I would have drawn instead. If it would have been a negative fraction, it would have looked like the blue line that I have right now. I just would have flipped it over, right? That's all. But since obviously it's a positive fraction, then I keep it the same way it's supposed to look. So, I mean, that's not terrible, right? We didn't have to do any calculations, nothing like that. It's just figuring out where your horizontal asymptote is, vertical asymptote is. Ask yourself, should I flip it or leave it normal? And then you draw. And that's it. All right, so let's do more of these things. Like I said, you guys have 8, we can do 4. You guys doing 4 should be more than enough practice. So example number 2, let's try this one here. F of x is equal to negative 1 over x plus 2 minus 1. Again, I'm just going to draw my coordinate plane here. Now in your homework, you already have the graphs, so you guys don't have to worry about graphing. Like I already put them on there for you guys, so you don't have to spend time drawing them out. So horizontal asymptote, where do I draw it? What letter was it? Horizontal? My C value. What's my C value? Negative 1. So let's draw a horizontal line at negative 1. All right. My vertical asymptote is based on the opposite of B. What is the opposite of B? It'll be a negative 2, right? Because right now it says plus 2. So the opposite is minus 2. So all right. Now look at my fraction. Should I draw it normally or should I flip it? I got to flip it because it's a minus in the front, right? It's negative 1 over x plus 2, right? This negative tells me don't draw it like this. This is the way I'm supposed to draw it. Flip it over so it's going to look like this. Okay, so here we go. Let me flip this thing over. So it's going to be here and here. And there you go. I'm done. So yeah, I mean, like these aren't difficult. It just takes a little bit of time. But you don't have to calculate anything. Just try to draw a nice looking graph as best you can. And make sure you have those asymptotes in the right place. Okay, that's the key, is making sure you have the asymptotes in the right place. All right, let's do another one of these things. I'm flipping this over to try to see if we can get something a little different. So, all right. Example number 3. So f of x is equal to 2 over x minus 2. So again, I'm just going to draw a coordinate plane really quick just to kind of get myself set up to draw this. All right, so Where do I draw my horizontal asymptote? At what? At 0. Yeah, because there's no C. The C is not there. So I'm going to draw it at 0. So I always draw it a little bit above the line just so you can see the color there. But normally you're not supposed to show it. But that's usually the way I draw it, right? Right above it. Or if right below, it's fine too. What is my vertical asymptote? Well, it says -2, so +2, right? So +2 is where I draw. It's always the opposite of B. Now, my fraction, it's positive, right? So that means I draw it normally. I draw it a nice normal graph. The normal graph looks like this. And I'm done. You guys good, or you want to see another one? I think these are pretty straightforward. They're not too tough, right? So I'll stop. I'll just do 3 for you guys and let you guys work on homework. I'm pretty sure you can get it done in class before you leave. I do want to remind you guys again, your ALEKS stuff. I know a lot of you guys were working on it yesterday during the quiz, but make sure you're getting your ALEKS finished, okay?